Hey everybody, it's Chugga Conroy! Welcome back to more Splatoon! Last time, we went over the final weapon we hadn't seen, and this time, the end has come. But no worries, night has fallen on Inkopolis Plaza, and night has fallen on our adventure together, but you know what? It's boppin', and we are partying all night long! If you haven't played Splatoon long before this, you might be wondering what's going on. Well, this is something that you can no longer do in Splatoon. This is Splatfest. Basically, they were competitions that Nintendo would hold once every month or two, where they'd have some kind of theme going on, where you would have to decide which team you liked better. In this case, there was Team Callie and Team Marie to decide which of the Squid sisters were better. And ha! Those of you who tell me that I'm wrong and that Callie is better, no! The world decided, and I'm factually right! No, I don't want to start an argument over this. Okay, sorry. I just really wanted to say that because I've been waiting to say it for a few months. I'm sorry. There were a lot of people that were upset over these Splatfest results, saying things like Team Marie players were making alternate accounts, joining Team Callie, and sabotaging the results. Because the way that Splatfest worked was kind of dumb. Going over the rules and how it differs from normal Splatoon is that for one day, there were no ranked battles. It was purely turf wars. You would pledge yourself to one team or the other. In case Callie and Marie for the final Splatfest. There were some others like SpongeBob versus Patrick. Would you rather bring hot dogs or marshmallows on a camping trip? Would you rather travel to the past or the future, which in Europe was very badly localized to dinosaurs versus robots in some countries, and that's amazing. One of the best localization fails I think I've ever heard. But yeah, there were all kinds of various themes, and basically it would tally up all the results from all the Turf Wars games that day. It would tally up all the people that voted, so it would be based on popularity as well. And you would gain Super Sea Snails for playing games that day. The amount that you gained was determined by not only how many points you'd earned, usually it would take about 3 to 4 hours to get the maximum, but also who the winning team was. And this is where things get a little bit stupid, and I kind of want to go off on a tangent for a minute. I don't like how Splatfest results were tallied up. It was so dumb that popularity was even a factor. It really shouldn't have been, because over time they changed how it calculated the results. Initially it was popularity times 1, wins times 2. In cases like cats versus dogs here, popularity could more than weight it even though the less popular team won more games, and that really pissed a lot of people off. They eventually changed it to wins times 4 and then eventually wins times 6. Once they changed it to wins times 6, however, all but 2 Splatfests that happened in North America under these rules were all reverse popularity contests. Basically, let's take Pirates versus Ninjas, for example. Obviously, the popular choice there is going to be Ninjas. Team Ninja had 72% of the popular vote. And because there were so many more people fighting for Team Ninja, you would think naturally they'd win, right? Well, because it was the popular choice, it would wind up getting stuck with a lot more younger, inexperienced players. Well, you're probably thinking that, you know, hey, that's not really fair. The Team Pirate has got to have roughly the same density, right? Just because it's popular and it has more younger players doesn't mean that it's unfair. No. Actually, what was happening was that because there were so many more players on Team Ninja than Team Pirate, Team Ninja players would sit in the lobby waiting so much longer for a game because so few people were on Team Pirate that Team Ninja could never find opponents. When it couldn't find opponents for you and time ran out, it would just forcibly pair you up with the same team so you could at least play, but the game wouldn't count toward the results. So many games for Team Ninja players wound up meaning nothing in the end toward the total results. This was going on for a while, and because it was so consistently the result that it was a reverse popularity contest, all the older, more experienced players would always pick the unpopular choice because they knew that that always won. And the fact that it only actually failed twice, it really does work. Yeah, I can't say that it doesn't, and I didn't like that at all. Popularity should not be a part of it whatsoever. If you just didn't tell us which team was more popular, I don't think people would get too salty about losing, but in this case, yeah, you can especially see that. So that's how results were tallied. Now we get on to Splatfest Rules Turf Wars. This is a mode that differs quite a bit from regular Turf Wars. Basically, there were 3 maps in the rotation for the entire day instead of 2 maps every 4 hours. For the final Splatfest, they allowed players to vote on the best stages in the game, and, you know, my opinions kind of matched up with the popular masses. Walleye Warehouse was in there after all, and I think the others were Flounder Heights and Kelp Dome. All great maps, love playing them all the time. So that was cool, having 3 different maps in the rotation. Personally, I think with how many maps there are, 3 maps should just be the rotation normally if the game can handle it, but I digress. It changed the dynamic of how you would choose your weapon. It's not all that hard to pick a weapon that's good on the 2 current maps. For instance, if it's Moray Towers and Bluefin Depot, of course you're gonna pick the E-Leader if you're at least decent with it. In this case, though, it's not so easy to have a weapon that's good on all 3 maps, so it kinda did give a bit more diversification to what people would play. When looking for opponents during Splatfest, you will have a Splatfest power ranking. This will start at a certain number dependent on what your rank is in ranked battles. It'll go up every time you win, go down every time you lose, so you're likely to be playing with players roughly on the same skill level as you no matter who you are. Not only that, but this shirt that I'm wearing, yes, I treasure it always. Okay, I can't actually treasure it always because for whatever stupid reason, the shirt they gave you for the Splatfest, you had to return it at the end of Splatfest, and I don't know why. I don't get it. Like, why couldn't I have just kept these shirts and been like, hey, you know, that first Splatfest, I was there. And it's not like it would have been broken or anything because Splatfest tees always have Special Saver as their main ability and equal chances of rolling ability should you want to roll on them. And because the game would decide which shirt you were wearing for you, this also changed the dynamic of the game similar to how the map rotations did. Since every player will always have Special Saver as their main shirt ability, the abilities Ninja Squid, Cold-Blooded, Recon, and Haunt are all banned. This adds a lot more value to abilities like Echolocator and Point Sensor if players can't play Cold-Blooded. This was a huge deal in the early days of Splatoon, back when Cold-Blooded was run a lot because it hadn't been nerfed yet, and it made abilities like Echolocator and Point Sensor a lot more rampant. Just kind of some tips that I can offer should Splatfests ever return for any reason. I really hope they do. They were so much better for obtaining Super Sneeze Snails than Judd, and you might have heard Callie and Marie say that they hear Judd is way more active at nighttime. This is what they're talking about. And speaking of nighttime, if you're wondering, yes, there are nighttime versions of every map that you can only see during Splatfest. Now that's about it. That covers pretty much everything you would ever care to know about Splatfest. There were some themes that Japan got that we never got, Europe got that we never got, all kinds of things like that, but I looked into having the Japanese text translated, but there was nothing really of interest. It was really bland, not punny or anything like that, like our text was. I only had one Splatfest text formally translated, so it's not like I'm holding back on lost media or anything like that. It's just that a translator told me that from glancing at it, it wasn't anything of note. So on that note, didn't mean to reuse that word in rapid succession like that. You might be wondering how exactly I am able to be in the Splatfest Inkopolis Plaza. Well, the answer to that was just spoiled by that transition. It's Amiibo! There is a Callie Amiibo and a Marie Amiibo. You scan these in, and it lets you keep your waifu in a plastic box. Kind of reminds me of that episode of the Powerpuff Girls, actually. But anyway, on a less creepy note, if you have these, you can visit the Splatfest Plaza at any time. The Squid Sisters will have different dance moves that are specific only to these Amiibo figures. You unfortunately cannot play games in the Splatfest versions of these maps as much as I wish you could. It's really a shame that these alternate versions of the maps that look super cool are just kind of lost now. But it lets you make your plaza look kind of cool. You can choose what song the Squid Sisters will perform. The song that you're hearing right now is the only one that you would hear during Splatfest under normal conditions, so you can kind of hear that. These dance moves are awesome. Callie is doing the most sick dance routine you ever did see. Gotta give her points on that. All right. That is all quite dandy. We have now gone over every single Amiibo that is compatible with Splatoon. Coincidentally, they're all Splatoon Amiibo. I'm not really sure why you can't, like, scan into Mario and get, like, a Mario hat as headgear or something like that, but maybe it's for the best. I think people would get kind of upset over that if that were the case, and it is kind of nice having a Nintendo franchise that isn't oversaturated with references to other Nintendo games for once, you know? Even though I do like all those references and the fact that the games apparently all take place in the same universe, it is a little bit nice not always being reminded of other stuff when you're playing something original. Something you just saw is that Callie and Marie each have a solo song that you can hear from scanning in their Amiibo. I showed you their dance moves. I don't think I'm gonna have the songs in here completely clean start to finish or anything like that. But on the note of Squid Sisters concerts, yeah, Squid Sisters concerts. These are a real thing that happen in Japan and Europe, but not America! Sorry, it just pents up in me so much whenever they tack months onto our releases for no reason. I'm sorry. Anyway, yeah, that is a thing that really exists. Not much to say about it. There is an Amiibo diorama that was also only released in Japan, and it has a frame that you can stick a photo of the Squid Sisters you took in person in it, but of course we can't do that. Even though Americans can't attend these things, Nintendo at least had the courtesy to upload the full concert to their YouTube channel, and you can see that in the description. Anyway, so these Amiibo figures will do things in Splatoon. But if you're still on the fence about getting them, they will do things in other games, and I'd like to go over those now. First, I'll show you the games that do something specific for the Splatoon amiibo that aren't done for other figures. In Super Mario Maker, you can unlock costumes of the Inklings, Callie and Marie, in order to play as them in your stages. In Yoshi's Woolly World, you can unlock a costume for each of the Inklings. In Kirby Planet Robobot, the Inklings will grant Kirby the Poison Copy ability. And in Style Savvy Fashion Forward, there are special items unlocked from scanning the Inkling Girl. In Animal Crossing New Leaf, since the Welcome Amiibo update, you are able to get 3 Splatoon villagers in your town. If you scan a Callie amiibo, you'll get Seisei, Marie, you'll get Vishay, and any Inkling amiibo will get you Inkwell the Octopus, one of only 4 octopi in the entire Animal Crossing series. So, yeah, Splatoon gets pretty special treatment these days for being a new franchise. Not only that, but there is Splatoon-themed furniture as well as clothing items that you can get from the RVs of these animals once you scan them in. Next are the games that don't have specific features to the Splatoon amiibo, but if the Splatoon figures are the only ones you want, these games will work with any figure. Amiibo Tap, Nintendo's Greatest Bits, is a free game that'll give you a random retro game demo whenever you scan in an amiibo figure. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker will give you some extra lives twice a day. Metroid Prime Federation Force will give you the X-Ray mech skin for any Splatoon amiibo or any other incompatible amiibo with the game that doesn't have a designated costume, and not to be snarky about this game because I think it's gotten way more than its fair share, but wow. It's amazing how little info there is about this game on the internet. I had an easier time finding images of the Style Savvy items, and I wound up having to ask Twitter exactly what the Splatoon amiibo did in Federation Force. I want to thank Twitter user John Groover for getting me this image. But jeez, people really did not archive anything on this game. Chibi Robo Ziplash will grant in-game coins for scanning any amiibo that is not Chibi Robo. Hyrule Warriors and Hyrule Warriors Legends will grant materials once a day from any 5 amiibo. Pokken Tournament will do the same, giving random items once a day from any 5 amiibo. Mario Party 10 will grant scratch cards once a day from every amiibo that you own, allowing you to get Mario Party points in order to buy things in the game. Mini Mario and Friends Amiibo Challenge is a free game as long as you have just one amiibo figure of any kind to unlock it, plus every figure unlocks a new stage to play. Word Puzzles by Pogi, I don't know. I'm gonna go with Pogi because that sounds funny. Is compatible with any amiibo and will generate word puzzles based on the owner's Mii name and the amiibo's nickname, technically allowing for endless replayability. There are some other Japan-only games like Taiko Drum Master and 3DS that are compatible, but that's all of what these figures can do for you. That does it for Amiibo. Now on to something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while now that I don't think anyone expected me to. An aspect of the fan community that I think is super cool and I wish people would use their imagination to make things like this more often is fan modes. In private games, you can only play with your friends, but you can set any rules you want regardless of the rotation. You can pick the mode, pick the map, pick the teams, even pick the number of players. From that, I will give you some fan-made modes that I particularly like, straight from Inkopedia. Splatoon doesn't have a deathmatch mode, but if you want, start up a Rainmaker game and have no one touch the Rainmaker, only fighting each other. Permasplat is turf wars with permadeath where players aren't allowed to leave the spawn point once they die. And my personal favorite, and the one I see talked about easily the most in the looking for games sections of the community, is bumper brushes. All 8 players must play the ink brush and only use the continuous roll to attack. This is chaotic and super fun. It gives weird results in turf wars if you're going off of what the game's results are, but man, when I play this, I don't even care about the results. It's just fun to bounce off of each other and basically have bumper cars going in Splatoon. If you're just so into Splatoon that you've played thousands of hours of all the other modes that already exist and you want to try something new with your friends, these are great. There are some other fan modes if you do a little bit of digging, but these ones I highly recommend. Other than that, there's not a whole lot of other topics I want to cover. I could talk about all the cool Splatoon merchandise that Japan keeps all to themselves, but there's too much to count and I don't have the know-how for making a collector's guide. Just know that it's all good stuff, and it's great to see a new franchise boom so much and have merchandise this good out of the gate. Video game merchandise has improved so much since I was a kid, but yeah, just please release more of it on this side of the Pacific next time we get a Splatoon game, and we know it's happening, so please. Alright. And now for the very last thing. Should we skyrocket all the way up to, well, the sky onto this rocket, or UFO, whatever? Rematching DJ Octavio yields some different results. Help! DJ Octavio escaped while I was eating my Krabby Cakes! That's darn impressive that he managed to not only escape, get up here, and tie you up, all without us seeing him since 10 seconds ago, but I digress. You gotta be squidding me. Gramps got captured again. That's convenient. Marie, you never stop being amazing. As if this video didn't have enough Marie praise as it is. No snow globe can contain this DJ. Hey, Gramps, I don't think I can make Squidmas this year. Oh, Squidmas is actually canon! Oh, you're filming holiday specials on Squidmas morning, what, so they can air the day after Squidmas? It's kind of, wow, I didn't know Squidmas was actually a canon thing. I forgot about that line of text. I thought it was just a fan coin term. So embarrassing. Do we have to take away your Krabby Cakes, Gramps? I think he's just lonely. We should probably give him a call soon. But Gramps doesn't have a phone. We'll have to send a telegraph. You mean telegram? I thought telegraph meant that you were showing what you were doing in a fight or something like that. I don't know. I'm too young. It's funny because usually I say I'm too old to know what's hip with the kids. He face plants if you don't shoot him right away. Not again. So sad. Crossfade to black. Hey, you got good taste. I'm a fan of that video editing transition too. I think it's been used in every single episode now that I think about it. Unfortunately, there is no enormous great Zapfish plushie or anything of the sort. You just get a cute little adorable little plush. It's just so little I had to be redundant. But that is everything there is. Yeah. That's every bonus topic, everything. I no longer have reason to live. I'm gonna miss, aren't I? Crap. I thought I was gonna land on something below. No! I can't undo my decisions. What do I care? It's not like I'm actually dead. Oh. Oh no, I respawned in Area 5. I was about to say, I respawned in Area 4. What? But no. Alright. Well, I guess that's it. See you back here soon for some more promised bonus videos. See you guys then. Oh, and thanks to Hank from Nintendo for looking over all my weapon research and all those sorts of things. He was a really big help too, and he wasn't thanked in the final episode. So thank you. Puke.